True crime is often told as shock and spectacle, but behind every headline is a family, a failure, and a moment where something went terribly wrong. This podcast is about those moments, the warning signs, the silence, the violence that hides in plain sight. I'm Johnny Black, and this is Unsaid Case Files. A son's viral crime, the murder of Tanya Byrd. In the early hours of a cold February morning in 2013, a man was walking his dog through Morrisania in the South Bronx. It was the kind of walk meant to be uneventful. Empty streets, trash piled neatly along the curb, nothing out of place. Then the dog stopped. It pulled hard toward a stack of garbage bags near the sidewalk, sniffing with an urgency that immediately made its owner uneasy. The man hesitated, then untied one of the bags. At first he thought he was looking at something tragic but explainable, a dead infant. Then he saw the hands, human hands. Realizing what he had found, the man became visibly shaken. Nearly in tears, he backed away and called police. What officers would discover that morning would reveal not just a homicide, but a crime that would horrify the public for its brutality, its intimacy, and for how openly it was displayed. Police arriving at the scene quickly realized the situation was far worse than initially reported. This was not a single bag, and it was not a single location. Over the course of several hours, officers located 4 separate garbage bags and a duffel bag spread across 4 blocks in the Morrisania neighborhood. Each contained different parts of the same body. One bag held a leg. Another contained a leg and an arm. A third held part of a torso. In the final bag, police recovered a head, later identified through photographs. The victim was identified as 45-year-old Tanya Byrd, a home health aide who lived nearby. Medical examiners would later determine that Tanya Byrd died from a stab wound to the neck, officially ruling her death a homicide. The manner in which her body was dismembered and distributed told investigators something crucial. This was not a momentary loss of control. It required time, tools, decisions. Someone had not only killed Tanya Byrd, but attempted to erase her. Before she became a headline, Tanya Byrd was a mother, a caregiver, and a working woman. She was known to her family as someone who tried to hold things together, often under difficult circumstances. As a home health aide, her job was caring for others, even as her own household grew increasingly unstable. In the days before her death, family members reported that Tanya wanted her adult son out of the apartment they shared. There were concerns, tensions, fear. But like so many family conflicts, those struggles remained largely private until it was too late. Tanya Byrd's son, Bahsid McLean, was 23 years old. To outsiders, there was nothing immediately remarkable about him. But records and family statements painted a troubling picture. McLean had a history of violence, including a prior arrest in 2010 for assaulting 2 police officers in Brooklyn. His father later told reporters, "He set fires. Nobody could control him." Relatives also told authorities that McLean may have been abusing another child in the home. This was not a sudden break. It was a slow, escalation. As investigators worked the case, a photograph began circulating online. In it, Bahsid McLean is seen wearing a black bandana around his neck. He is smiling. In his hand, he is holding his mother's severed head. The image spread rapidly, shared across social media, news outlets, and message boards. What disturbed people most wasn't just the violence. It was the expression, the absence of shame. This wasn't concealment. It was display. Police arrested McLean along with 26-year-old William Harris, an acquaintance accused of helping dispose of the body. According to a criminal complaint, McLean stabbed his mother in the neck and then dismembered her body with Harris's assistance. Authorities recovered a blade from the apartment McLean shared with his mother. A saw was later found in Harris's home. Initially, each man implicated the other. McLean was charged with second-degree murder, hindering prosecution, and criminal possession of a weapon. Harris was charged with unlawfully dissecting a human body and hindering prosecution. During McLean's first court appearance, the public was confronted with another disturbing image. He appeared wearing a trash bag. His attorney explained that McLean had urinated on himself while in custody and was given the bag by court personnel to wear. In court, McLean told the judge, "I didn't do anything wrong." In December of 2016, nearly 4 years after Tanya Byrd was killed, the case reached its final legal conclusion. Bahsid McLean pleaded guilty to second-degree murder, admitting in court that he had stabbed his mother to death. He also pleaded guilty to unlawful dissection of a human body, acknowledging what he did afterward.
The judge sentenced McLean to 25 years to life in prison for the murder of his mother. For the dismemberment and disposal of her body, he received an additional sentence of 1 1/3 to 4 years to be served concurrently. In other words, McLean will not be eligible for parole until he has served at least 25 years. His accomplice, William Harris, later pleaded guilty to hindering prosecution for helping dispose of the body. He was sentenced separately and ultimately served a significantly shorter prison term. At sentencing, McLean addressed the court and admitted responsibility for the killing. But no statement, no expression of remorse could undo what had already been done. The legal system could punish the crime. It could not restore the life that was taken. What makes this case so disturbing isn't just the brutality. It's how familiar the warning signs were. Family violence rarely announces itself loudly. It often grows quietly, shielded by privacy, denial, and the belief that domestic problems should stay domestic. In cases like this, the red flags tend to stack up slowly. Untreated mental illness, escalating aggression, dependence, resentment, and blurred boundaries within the home. It's critical to be clear. Mental illness alone does not cause violence. The vast majority of people living with mental health conditions are not dangerous. But when untreated illness intersects with entitlement, control, and access to vulnerable victims, especially within family systems, the risk increases. Another uncomfortable truth is what happens after the crime. The viral images, the fixation on the grotesque. Too often, the victim's life becomes secondary to the spectacle of their death. Remembering Tanya Byrd means resisting that impulse.
It means asking difficult questions. What support systems failed? Who saw the instability but didn't know how to intervene? What resources were missing before violence became inevitable? True crime should not exist simply to shock us. It should exist to warn us all. The case you just heard is real, and its impact didn't end when the headlines faded. If you or someone you know is struggling with mental illness, domestic violence, or thoughts of harming others, help is available. Please seek it. Thank you for listening to Unsaid Case Files. New episodes drop weekly. Stay safe out there.